Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Tropical update number 31 on Tropical Depression Fred and Invest 95L. As we can see, Fred is now off of the eastern tip of Cuba, just to the north of the area. Tropical storm watch is in effect for the eastern half of Cuba as well as portions of the southeastern Bahamas. Fred is going to be making its way north of Cuba, probably not making landfall on Cuba. It's then going to make its way into the Florida Keys before riding close to the southwestern Florida coast and then into the Florida Panhandle with time. Exactly how strong it gets, if it re-strengthens into a tropical storm, all that still up for grabs at the moment. The National Hurricane Center brings it to landfall at around 60 miles an hour, which would certainly be impactful. Tropical storm watches will be needed for southwestern Florida and the Florida Keys later this afternoon or evening. Invest 95L located making its way towards the Windward Islands, where we could potentially have a tropical depression or tropical storm here within the next few days. Looks like it's going to go to the north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, but we'll talk more about that when we get to it. Let's start with Fred. As we can see here, very naked swirl today. Not really a strong swirl at that, so doesn't really look a whole lot like a tropical cyclone, in all honesty. But it got absolutely destroyed by the mountains of Hispaniola. Could potentially gain some more strength today, increasing convection, and start beginning to look more like a tropical storm again. But we'll see again, like I mentioned, tropical storm watch is required for South Florida later this afternoon, probably at that 5 p.m. advisory, if not by the 11 p.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. We're looking at the arrival of this storm into the Keys sometime Saturday in terms of tropical storm force winds early as Sunday night for the Florida Panhandle. Again, the odds aren't too high, 30 to 40% of having the tropical storm force winds. Nonetheless, the National Hurricane Center does project Fred to regain tropical storm status. Rain certainly a concern as we see the Everglades part of the Florida Keys certainly going to get over 6 inches of rain over the next 3 days alone. Remember that graphic there only goes through 3 days. Much more rain is, of course, going to come with this storm as we move on with time. 3 to 5 isolated to 8 for the Dominican Republic, Western Bahamas, Florida Keys, and South Florida. 1 to 3 isolated to 5 for Haiti, Turks and Caicos, Eastern Bahamas, and Cuba. Again, another look at those watches and warnings there. Again, no warnings at this point, but watches certainly in effect. When we take a look at the spaghetti models, again, it rides that southwestern Florida coastline before making its way into the Panhandle. And that's the general spaghetti model idea with this storm. If we look at the American ensemble, again, anywhere from Louisiana to Florida, but at this point in time, again, the Florida Panhandle is looking like the main idea. That is notably more south than the general spaghetti models and actually takes it into Cuba, but also keeps the storm relatively weak. Taking a look at the European ensemble, much better support today for the storm as compared to yesterday, but nonetheless not making it too strong. There are one member, it looks like, takes the storm to hurricane status, a few more a decent sized tropical storm. And so we'll see exactly what happens with this storm. But again, most of Florida, save for maybe the Atlantic coast north of Orlando, needs to be looking at this storm as a potential impact. Probably even north of Miami here, fine. But nonetheless, that's kind of where this storm will be impacting. Even north of Miami and north of Orlando, they'll still be experiencing rainfall from this storm. So that will be of note. National Hurricane Center currently at the upper end of the intensity guidance, but nonetheless, it does look like a majority of the models will bring this storm back to tropical storm strength before a U.S. landfall occurs. Taking a look at Invest 95L, much better convection than Fred, but again, this isn't a competition here. However, there is a 60% chance of this storm forming within the next 5 days. We'll continue to monitor that next NHC update at 2 p.m. Taking a look at the spaghetti models, we see it really could go anywhere. Again, we're favoring a more out to sea type event, but again, certainly many land areas, especially islands, are in play at this point in time. And so we'll see exactly down the line if the U.S. is in play. but that'll be something to decide at a later date. Some of the models still bring this storm to hurricane status within the next 4 days or so. Again, first we actually have to have a storm with it, so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll certainly be watching this for development. We could potentially have another storm on the way here soon. Taking a look into the European ensemble, taking this storm a bit to the south of where Fred hit, and that could potentially cause an interesting way down the road. We do notice, though, if it takes a northward approach and goes more north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, storm is stronger and has a better chance at making hurricane status. Anyways, that's all for now. See you guys soon. Chris Dixon or other Catholic Media.